right now. And what it came about was Kristen is talking to our buddy Aaron, and I'm talking to our friend Himalaya, and we both had the same vision of we get to do something, right? As leaders, we don't just sit back and wait for others. We actually step up and we are the voice. So it's really about this collective unit coming together to be a voice of transformation, to be a voice of love, peace, faith, and trust and surrender in this unknown time in the world. So that's why we're here. We're here to support you. We're here to answer questions, and we're here to share our wisdom and gifts with you.
I love it. I so love it. Thank you. There's so much functionality over here on Facebook that I got a little distracted because it's so cool. All right. So thank you all for being here. What I would like to do is just go around the room, and I'm going to go around in the order that I am seeing people. And I want you to share your name and what you do out in the world. And you know what? I'm going to throw a little curveball because I didn't tell you guys this beforehand. Why you were a yes to being here on this call today. So Tina Paulus Kraus, you're up. Unmute yourselves. Thank y'all.
Yes, unmute. Hi, everyone. My name is Tina Paulus Kraus. Thank you, Kristen. What do I do? So a year ago, I literally took the leap from corporate. And today I work with leaders and teams to literally go back into corporate and help teams really understand how to move, not only the leader move themselves into the future of work, but also move their team into the future of work, because there's a lot of stuff going on in our world these days and a lot of stuff going on in corporate and in business. And if we're not staying healthy as an individual, all the noise and everything else can kind of take us out. So I go back into teams and I help them stay healthy in all areas of their life.
Love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Did I answer all the questions? Oh, and why am I here? Why am I here? I'm here because of what Crystal said. Like I'm a yes. I'm always a yes. I get to use my voice. I get to be a change maker in this world. I get to support people as they move into really just being their best self and stepping up and being a change maker in this world.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. Christina Miglino, you are next in my Brady Bunch grid.
Hi, Kristen. My name's Christina Miglino. I run the Mystery School of Intuitive Intelligence. Kristen knows about it. It is a powerful community of women, and I really share and teach about manifesting through the divine feminine, which doesn't mean hyper femininity. It means gathering within ourselves our sacred masculine and divine feminine and bringing them into balance so that we can create a world where our dreams can all come to reality. So that's what I do. And why am I here? Kristen called me, and I will step into anything that this woman ever asks me to do without even a question. And also, I will just say that Shazi and I were having the same conversation that some of you all were having in the last 48 hours. What do we get to do now? Let's go. And I'm so grateful, so grateful to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, as transformational leaders, we're on, you know, I believe we're tapped in and feeling this pull, this calling to serve. I mean, and really that's what this is. It's like, how can we serve? How can we serve in this climate and bring peace and calm amidst what's occurring right now? So thank you for being a yes and being here. Okay, great. So Shazia Imam, you're next. And you're muted, so unmute.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Shazia Imam. I'm also known as the Life Engineer, and I'm the host of the podcast Feminine and Fulfilled, which says it all. I really believe in women finding their feminine and feeling fulfilled and playing a big game. We've been playing small for way too long, and so I'm here to really talk about playing big. And so even this, what we're talking about today, Kristen, when you created this, I was a hell yes, because I mean, I'm not going to be small with the toilet paper in my bathroom. Okay. It's time to get really big. Yes, there's a lot happening right now, and this is the opportunity to be who you are and what's calling inside. So really excited to be here with all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're obviously excited to have you contribute. All right. Maria Leandra, I said it right.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Maria Alejandra. You can also call me MA. I'm a coach, a content creator, and strategic sorceress. And what that means is that I believe in aligning our strategic selves with our divinity and our wisdom. And so it's the juiciest, magical pleasure to be here among all of this and all of you watching. And much like Shazia said, I'm over here like, yes, sister, yes, because I also believe that this is the time under this pressure and under these circumstances to really mine that gold and that brilliance within us. I believe it's the time for more people to become visible. I believe it's a time for more people to show up. This is the moment to align with your purpose like never before, because I believe in living a vision-driven life, not by the circumstance happening around you, but rather you designing how you step into your power. And so that's my calling. I work with visionary leaders and women who are really ready to step into a next level of what they get to create. And so I said yes 20 minutes ago to this because Kristen sent me a message and I was like, you know, I'm there, baby. So it's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here. And let's have some beautiful, positive energy and fun here. I love you all.
Awesome. Thank you, MA. All right, Wendy Paquette, you're up, sister.
Hello, everybody. And I'm so grateful to be here. This is the one thing that I've been, I suppose, beaming out into the world my whole life is to have these beautiful thought leaders with me. My name is Wendy Paquette. I work with thought leader entrepreneurs who are seeing their life differently every day and striving to become greater. And every day they're seeing something more clear. So I actually am launching a new live radio show and podcast called Everyday Clarity. And it's going to be featuring everything that we're looking at right now. Like the distinction of responsibility. When you're looking in the world, what are you seeing? And what you're seeing is what you're calling. So this is an incredible opportunity. Thank you, Kristen, because why I'm here is whatever we're calling in, whatever we're missing is showing up with this opportunity that we have facing in front of us. So really excited to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. It's so juicy. Okay, Beth Osmer, you're next in my queue.
Good morning. Thank you, Kristen. I'm so excited that you created this and just like listening to each and every one of you and seeing your amazing faces brings me, it's like, it's very grounding and feels very balancing. And I'm incredibly grateful that you guys were all a yes. And okay, so my name is Beth Osmer and I'm a spiritual empowerment coach. I mainly work with the tools of shamanism and energy medicine to help people relieve the wounds of the past so that they can be powerful in their present, because I truly believe that everyone is here to step into their power and be the spiritual warrior that they came here to be. And this is the time to do it. Like, this is not, like everyone has said, this is not the time to play small. This is not the time to hide with your toilet paper. This really is the time to shine your light the brightest. So I am so excited to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much, Beth. All right, our fearless male lion leader somewhere in the house here, Mr. Aaron Glassman. Hello, Aaron.
Well, hello, Kristen, and thank you for having me here today. And seriously, I'm always seeming to be the one man in a sea of beautiful, powerful women. I'm honored and grateful.
It's your place.
Yeah, it
It's
says
my
something about
place,
you.
just to be this guy. Yeah, well, anyway, Aaron Glassman, and I'm a teacher, facilitator, a writer of unifying scientific principles with spiritual laws. I speak of the unification of consciousness in order for us to create our life rather than manifest it. And I speak about empowering ourselves to align with our one higher self as we are experiencing our humanity. And I'm part of this because absolutely a scientific principle that I love to speak about is that actually light seeks to unite itself. So in the times of the illusion of there being darkness, where all of this light then is seeking to unite itself, to shine itself brighter out into the world, is why I'm here. We get to come out hiding or coming out and using our voice to shift the energy, raise the vibrational frequency, and align with what's wanting to transform and take place on the planet. So I'm always open and available and ready to unite with other light beings like everybody here and out there. So thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, I'm going to introduce Himalaya. Belle, Himalaya, tell us about you, who you are, and what you do out in the world, and why you're a yes.
Hi, I'm Himalaya, and I want to say I'm a yes first. I want to just talk about that first because I feel like it is so time to play in a different way. We are all being called to play in a different way, and I'm excited. Like every day I wake up, I'm like, I'm in my home again. For an introvert, this is the best thing ever. So I'm just like, ooh, how are we going to play today? You know, because everything's shifted right now. And most of my work is in-person events, and I serve women, empowering women to be embodying their freedom in all aspects of their lives. That's my work in the world. And it's really just embodying freedom in general. So utilizing the body to move anything that we're not, any aspects of or debris of fear or disconnection that we are not. Like my play is to bring us into highest alignment. So it looks a lot like this when I'm moving. So it's a lot like jiggling and vibrating and breathing out what we're not and coming into highest alignment of who we are again and again and again. So this is exciting. So one of the things Kristen and I, as we were talking about this whole thing, and Crystal and I, it was like, okay, let's serve now. We get to serve in a whole different way. We get to play in a different way. So starting Monday, which is tomorrow, right? Monday, every day, 8 a.m., Monday to Friday, we're going to do a body freedom, like, series. And most of you are coming on to that too, to share the tools and practices of what we can do at home, because what can happen is we can just sit around and not move or not be connected to ourselves and spirit and our purpose. So that's what the purpose of that is going to be. And I'm so excited to be sitting here with you or connected with you in this way. Thank God, Goddess, for the internet, right? Like,
Yes.
woo, yes. We have connection. We still have connection.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being a yes and being here. The always a yes, mama bear leader extraordinaire, Miss Crystal Jackson. I want you to tell the people watching who you are, what you do out in the world, and why you co-created this with me without my knowing. You put this idea in my head, and so did you, Christina Miglino, and so did all of you. Actually, you all called me forward, so thank you.
Well, I think my belief is that it all came to us, and we all are together for this reason. So there's no coincidence that half of us on the screen just finished up with a leadership transformation process on Tuesday, and here we are on a Sunday, all of us together. So my name is Crystal Jackson. I'm called a mindset strength coach. What I'm really good at is being the queen of possibilities, as my friends called me. They call me the queen of possibilities, meaning no matter what the situation is, I'm going to see the positive from it. But really, what I'm really passionate about is the health in all areas of our life and being a yes without any back doors. So I believe this time, I'm going to talk more about it later, this is a time for us to really regain our physical health, mental health, spiritual health, financial health, and relationship with our families. There's no coincidence that we are being brought home to our families. And I'm a mom of 3, and I spend a lot of time with my family, and there's another level of depth there. So I was a yes because I was a yes. I'm always a yes.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I think Crystal had mentioned, first of all, my name's Kristen Lena, for those of you who don't know me. I am a catalyst for bold and audacious self-expression, and who I am out in the world is a truth speaker. And so when I work with my clients, I empower them to speak the truth about who they are, why they're here, and what they're contributing. So that's the gift that I am to the planet. Just like each one of these people on this panel is a gift of energetic, conscious evolution. Like we as human beings are here to contribute everything that we're brought with and everything that we pick up along the way. And each one of the people on this panel is powerful beyond measure. And I want you to know, if you're watching, for those of you watching, so are you. I mean, so are you. And everyone on this panel has been through a leadership training program, a leadership program that is all about this. So as Crystal said, as we just completed a program, many of us on this call, Tina and Aaron and Himalaya and Beth and Crystal and I, were like, we have to do something. Like, it's time. This is the knowledge and the experience and the connection that we have is too important. It's too great for us to hold. It's our responsibility to give it out. It's our responsibility to share it, especially during times like this. So what I want to do is, at this point, Shazia, can you unmute for a second?
Sure.
This just gets to be, like, how are we going to, in this moment, do we all need to pause for a moment and share something out so that it's out? Or it was like, do we want to do that right now, like pop out and just share, or do we want to just start the conversation? Here's why I'm saying this. The intention for this, really the bigger intention for us coming together, is that this message gets spread. It gets shared. It gets the people who are really needing to feel safe, to have a different way to react or respond to what's occurring on the planet, in their families, in their minds, that they hear this message, because my intention is that this really is healing. This is really healing. This message that, amidst what's occurring on the planet, gets to heal people. So however we get to share that out, if it can happen right now in this moment, or if you're watching and listening live, please go out and share. Please go out and share. So, okay. Are we good, Shazia? I asked that question.
We're great.
Okay,
Yep,
great.
we're great. I put the link there. And like you said, if you're watching live right now, click that share button, tag a friend, whatever it's going to take, because like Kristen said, this is meant to go wide. There's so many people who get to hear this message that's different than everything else you might be hearing. So share, like, all the good things, and we'll carry on.
Okay, great. So this, and we're scheduled, guys watching, we're scheduled for 2 hours, and it's just going to be a creation as it goes. It's the speakers may hop off at certain points. They may be here for the whole time. It's all good. You may pop off, you may come back in. The recording is going to be, once we're done with this, the recording is going to be out there for you to watch again. But we're just spreading love today. We're just spreading love and peace and power and possibility. So I'm going to pose my first question, which is, and actually, I'm actually going to choose who I would like to. Hi, Anne. Yay, Anne's in the chat. Anne, thank you. Hello to you too. I'm just going to pose this question first to our amazing, beautiful token male, Aaron Glassman. And he was the first person that I called when I thought about this, because Aaron, over the last 4 months, has really contributed significantly to my life, in me grounding to my power, me grounding to my, the power and possibility of who I am, and my expression of that out in the world. So Aaron, I want to get like your sense of, if someone were to come to you and say, I'm really freaked out, like this is just it's craziness out there, and I'm really afraid. What's your response, reaction, answer to that, to empower people?
Great. You're freaked out. Yeah. And why? The biggest question that's up for us right now, I feel, is why? Asking the question, why? What is wanting to emerge? Why is this taking place? Why is there so much fear? Why, am I in fear? Why am I in reactivity? How does this show up in my life? When I'm presented in a fearful situation, do I get reactive? Do I shut down? Do I lose touch with my heart-centered presence, which is the only way in which we shift? So to me, this whole thing is much bigger than a virus. This isn't about a virus. This is about who are we becoming? What is it going to take? Because we always, in this field of transformation, we're always hearing how people want to shift and change their life. And it's like, what is going to change in order for that transformation to happen in your life? What's going to be different in your life that's going to create a shift? And most people, they don't want anything to change. Like, oh, I don't want to shift that because that's scary. But here we are, we're being forced to just get still, to be in our homes, to find a presence and a breath in order for something new to emerge. Like we've been talking about the way in which we were doing all of this coaching on this staffing, where we could see ourselves getting really caught up in the doing and doing and going and going. And when we're in that mode of operation, we're locked in a mental construct where we're doing from a place of fear because we're attached to the outcome. And so what we kept infusing into the process was, wait, where's the breath? Where's the space? Where's the faith? Where's the trust? Where's the allowance? And that is what I feel is we are being called. So anybody who comes to me that I work with or whatever, we do identify where are you constricted? Where are you in fear? Where are you not connecting to this heart-centered presence, which is the place in which we experience our power, our higher self, the unified field, in order for us to inform and create a new result, a new action and a new way of being in relationship to what's happening outside of us. So this for me is all about getting still, getting present, asking ourselves, why is this happening now? Why is this such a powerful lesson for humanity? And how can we shift and generate something new from it? I could go on.
I know you could. So you could. So what I'm hearing you say is, in any circumstance, with any circumstance that we find ourselves in, we have the power, to pause, and we have the power to breathe, and we have the present moment.
Yeah, there's a great saying that I always love is Occam's razors, is that taking into consideration that all things are equal, it's usually the simplest explanation that tends to be the correct one. So when we're talking about the breath, it's the most basic, simplest option for us to actually experience transformation, and it's the most powerful. It's the most powerful. And for example, I was in Whole Foods a few days ago, and I've never been in Whole Foods, seeing shelves that are empty. And I have a 1-year-old, I have a family, and I'm like looking around and I'm seeing people taking bags, and I'm like, oh, does that what, like for a second, I got caught into it and I went to the breath. And in that breath, I realized, no, that's not the person I'm going to be. I'm not going to start taking more so someone else doesn't have. And like I was able to utilize the breath to get me centered and present again. So I wasn't reactive and I wasn't in a state of mind and mental fear and resistance. I utilized the ability to get present so I can be in my power.
Yeah. And this was occurring for me. I had a couple of client calls earlier this week, and both of them were very fearful, and it was all about what if, and it's all future based. So it's all out here. Like, well, what if the stores run out of food? And what if I get coronavirus? And what if like this anxiety and this anxiousness? And what I realized is that the power that each of us have been trained in is present moment. Like right now, you're safe. Right now, in this moment, you have breath. Right now, in this moment, you're alive. Right now, in this moment, you have everything that you need. So whoever wants to just popcorn in and share, please, I wanted Aaron to kick us off, because I may have to kick him out later. No, I'm kidding. I won't have to kick him out later, but I wanted to give him an opportunity. So who else? Like what are you
A
seeing?
question for him.
Yes.
Oh,
So Aaron, hi Aaron.
hi, Crystal.
What can you share with the audience of the fear is coming up, it's rising, it's rising. Give them like a tip, a tool that can ground them, center them,
Awesome.
give them some Aaron genius here.
Aaron G. Oh, I like that. Aaron Genius.
You're welcome.
Yeah, when the fear begins to arise, you get to be in relationship to the fear. The fear is always our teacher. Not an easy pill to swallow for so many of us, right? Wait a minute, fear actually has a gift for me. Fear actually can. So the first thing is when I'm noticing the fear, I'm witnessing my body, like, it's beginning to contract, my breath's getting short, it's getting hot in my head. There's all of these indicators I'm moving into fear. So when I recognize the fear, I can be like, oh, what am I getting scared of? What is happening? And I can also recognize to drop my breath from here, from the head, and I drop it down to below my navel, to this deeper part of my breath, which is the energy center 1, I call it, right? Which is our fire breath portion. It's red in color. So what can we do? We recognize the fear. I ask the question what it is. I connect to my breath. And what I do is this is a quick wave activation that I call it. I just begin to focus on my first energetic center, approximately 2 inches below the navel, red in color, and I see it circulating clockwise. And then I go to my 8th energetic center, which is about 8 inches above the head. It's white in color, and I see that rotating. So I have 2 energetic centers rotating simultaneously clockwise, EC1 and EC8, red and white. And then I go into the heart center, which is green in color, into my energetic center 4. So why EC1 to EC8 is we're utilizing science and mathematical harmonics to create a harmonic into our heart center. So we go from the 1 to the 8, which is the octave, and the 4th connects those 2. So that's a scientific principle, and it's also been utilized by the Greeks. And I utilize that practice. I can do it in seconds, EC1, EC8, into my heart center, EC4. And suddenly I've shifted into more of my presence, into a heart-centered way of being. Thank you, Crystal.
What does the EC stand for, Aaron?
Energetic center. Yeah, so most people refer to them as chakras. I like calling them energetic centers for the Western minds.
What I keep hearing in what we're talking about is the power of choice, right? Like we have a choice to be in fear, or we have a choice to use tools like what Aaron was kind of walking us through. So like, I feel like I'm hearing a lot of, when I'm looking at, social media and the news and everything like that, like we get to choose whether we want to live in fear. We get to choose whether we want to rise above out of that and be a leader in our own lives and help other people through it. And so I think the power of choice is just such a huge concept here.
And I'm going to add to that, what I see Aaron sharing with us, the gift is we feel the fear. I love how you said the fear is always my teacher. Something like that. I might have made it up a little bit. The fear is the teacher. And what are we going to do with that fear? So it really is the choice, like you're talking about, Tina, the choice of living in fear, the what if fear, or what if you learn, or what if you went into the faith and did you what if into all the possibilities of like, well, what if this is happening for every single one of us, to go within, to really be grounded in who we are as a being and let the light come in. That's really what I feel is like all the light workers are going to come out and really rise up and shift the planet. And we've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah. So guys, just go ahead and popcorn in where, how are you responding? How are you responding with yourself, with your families, with your clients, and the work that you do? So the work that you do gets to be shared right now, like your brilliance, your power, your essence, so that we can share this out. So whoever wants to go and just share along the same lines. Yeah, go ahead, Beth.
Well, I just wanted to answer Anne's question, which was up in the thread. She asked, Can I ask you all some things of this virus? I think it's man-made. I think it's all about money and creating fear in people. And what am I supposed to ask myself so that I'm not afraid of it? So I wanted to speak into this because like I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, and I can wear like the metal hat, and because I do think some of that is accurate, and I do think some of it is real. And so I was sharing with Christina this morning, when this first started, I went there. I was like, this is a fucking excuse me, I'm cussing, government psyop. It's like, I went to that conspiracy theory and I was denying it. And then I went into deeper and deeper meditation around it. And this is the way I'm seeing it. And I think this might support you, Anne, and you can see if this resonates and feels right to you. When there is something like this happening, the vibration of fear is so high that it does bring out the shadow in people. It brings out the darker energies. It brings out the feeders. It does. And in shamanism, it's like it does bring out that darker side. And there's always a dark side of everything. It's a dark side of me, a dark side of you, and it can bring out the shadow. So, but on the way I've seen it is on the outside of the shadow, like we're in this thing that's happening, right? And the outside is all of the higher light beings, all of the higher energies, source creation, everything that everyone's saying is creating that it's actually happening for us because we're over consuming, we're imbalanced. There's so much happening where we get to slow down. So if we look on the outside and expand really far out, there is so much love and expansion and balance. It's what we need to navigate the middle, the shadow inside, so that the shadow, the feeders don't get stronger. We come into our light, we navigate, we get higher, we come back to the breath. So just being really careful, because I went to that too of like I saw a sign yesterday. We were going I live in the Bay Area, from Oakland to San Francisco last night. And every sign on the freeway was in bright red, like fear-based signs. Watch out for the virus, stay home. It was like something out of a sci-fi movie. My daughter started crying. She's 10. It was like, I mean, like fear, so much fear. And I was like, you know what? They're just trying to teach us to be safe. Like we can look at it how we want to look at it. Like my husband's like, oh yeah, they just want to show us to be safe. It was creepy, I'll be real. But we get to, so I'm not sure if that's the question to ask. The question to ask is, again, like, who are you going to be in this? Showing up as the light, as like a spiritual warrior, and tuning into all the light that's happening, all the love, all of the things that we get to be, and not the shadow, because the shadow is there, but we can choose to tune into the shadow, or we can choose to tune into the light.
I love that, Beth. And what I'm experiencing is, in your everyday world, you're missing something. And so you call that into your existence so that you can move through it. Doesn't always feel comfortable, because if it did, it wouldn't be something you got to move through. So I suppose I'm speaking into the person who wrote that in the chat, is if you're leaning into, you think it's money, about money, look at where you're looking at your money and what have you done in order to feel secure and safe, and where are you ignoring your money space so that that fear actually has a place in your world. And speak into that for yourself, like really be present, because the things that you're noticing are the things that you really get to look at. So instead of looking out and keeping on looking out, look out, notice what's occurring, then look back and notice yourself and reconnect with, wow, where am I not paying attention to what I'm doing with my money? Where is the value for me in this? It's really an outward, it's such a possibility. We're looking outward to see in. So this is such a grand opportunity to really see what we've called forth. We've, as humanity, have called forth a new way of being, a new living, a new planet Earth with amazing humans on it. So we get to see what we called forth by seeing what's not working, being present to it, and then walking through it by making the shifts necessary in order to feel comfortable.
So Wendy, say more about that. Keep going.
Which part would you like to know more about?
Well, what this calling it forward, like calling it into our, so say more, just keep going.
Even the mirror effect.
Yeah.
Well, the world is, in my perspective, holographic in nature. So the things that you're seeing that aren't working, they're not working because that's the way our life is. They're showing us the not working pieces so that we could make necessary shifts in order to step into that and shift and change those things. Be very present to all the things that aren't working. So for some people, it feels like money. For some people, it'll be connection. Like, how many of you reconnected with your neighbors? We're speaking to like people that were standing in the grocery store in these long lineups that there were. Like, where are you reconnected with humans around you that you hadn't connected with before? And they're right there and they've been there all the time. So we've sourced uncomfortability in all areas so that we could see it and then make the shifts that we have been unwilling to address in ourselves and acknowledge that we're actually ignoring. Even with our health. Yes, it's a virus, but well, look at your health. Like, if you're in deep fear about your health, then where are you not taking care of yourself? Where are you not paying attention to your hydration, your level of nutrition, your exercise, your meditation, your connected to your oneness, your faith? Like, where are you feeling you're out of alignment with illness and what you could do to support yourself? How many people running to the grocery store to buy toilet paper and missed vitamin C or colloidal silver or the things that would support your body and the immune system it has in order to fight any kind of virus that's going around? So being very present to what's actually showing up for you.
I love this. I love this because this is why we change in the title and the tagline of this. We were kind of going back and forth with what do we call this and what are we doing and what are we creating? And Erin's contribution was, this is an opportunity. You know, this crisis isn't a crisis unless we look at it as a crisis. And so what Wendy's pointing to is, listen, it's feedback. Like, everything occurring right now is neutral. It's a what's so. And we get to choose what we make that all mean. We can make it mean the end of the world is coming and I got to get more toilet paper, and we can make it mean like I've got to cancel all my flights and my business, and we can make it be really scary. Or we can look at the opportunity of this to say, just like what Wendy said, this kind of illuminates, magnifies where in my life, my personal responsibility is I really haven't chosen to look at this area, my health, my finances, my connection to my relationships. I love that. So the reason I'm highlighting this is because this is an opportunity. Every single person on this panel realizes that this environment that we are in is an opportunity to rise. It's an opportunity to step in. It's an opportunity to be love, to see love, to generate love and light. And that's what the intention of this panel is. So anyone else want to?
Yeah, I just want to continue with that. Wendy, thank you so much for bringing that illumination, because the question I've been really asking myself, and I think it's a great opportunity to ask ourselves, is what lesson am I learning from what's happening? Because what's miraculous, if you really look at the miracle of what's happening right now, is that everybody is having their own experience. It seems like we're having a collective experience, but in fact, every single one of us has our own perspective. There's something that's standing out to each and every one of us. And Wendy, I love the way that you were showing that. So to take it one step further, if you're to ask yourself, what lesson am I learning from this? Instead of consuming everybody else's experience, what is your experience? There's a lot of power there. And for me, as I sat in this question, I realized for me, it was so much about surrender and letting go. Because how many of you, myself included, like to control, like to feel like I've got everything in a nice box, it's good, it's, everything's just going just right, I have this plan, I'm going to follow through with this plan, and then things don't work out that way, and it can feel like chaos. But for me, I really have been sitting in, wow, I get to surrender. Like, this is the lesson in this moment in time with the goals that I had in my life, is that right now, I get to let go. And so I'd be curious to hear what lesson are others learning? Because this is really truly a powerful opportunity to reflect.
I love
love
what you're
that.
saying, just
Oh.
let it go, right? Like we all have plans. We all, I have my strategy board in front of me, knew exactly what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden things start getting canceled and so it's coming off the calendar and coming off the calendar and coming off the calendar. And, just being able to be free and saying, okay, well, I guess that God has a different plan. I guess that there's something different that I need to be putting my attention and my time to. And just the ability to do that is so incredibly freeing. And a year ago, I wouldn't have been able to be there, right? But today to just know and understand that there's something bigger in place here. There's something bigger that I'm supposed to learn. There's something bigger that as a collective we're supposed to do is so empowering. And it's just really changes the whole mindset of like, what happens next? So what's next? It allowed me to say yes to this, right? It allowed all of us to say yes to this. And so it's about looking for what that possibility is, even when all these, beautiful plans that you had in place and all laid out aren't going to happen now.
And
We're
Tina,
all
just
being called
sorry,
to
Himalaya,
slow
to
down.
speak
Go.
to that
Yeah. Mhm.
totally is not necessarily to look for the possibility, but be open to it showing up. Because when you're looking for something, oftentimes you miss something. So be open, be aware of what's showing up for you, and what's coming from the future, seemingly future. But that's so true. Just really be open to what's showing up, because the space on your board is for purpose and it's generated from source. So it's more of an exciting moment to look at that and go, wow, I wonder what's coming. Like from a space of possibility and freedom and trust that if you're generating as source, if you are generating this space and time, it is going to be amazing because you're generating it. Does that make sense? So you get to look at what is being created. And because it's so globally massive, we've all been calling for a oneness on this planet for centuries. So imagine if this is that step into a possibility where the globe unites into what we've all been talking about for centuries. It's just an incredible opportunity.
Go ahead.
Now I'm just lost because I love what you just said and all of you. But I will say that we are being called as a collective, totally. Like what I was getting yesterday is all of us are slowing down. So as a human race, we are all being called to slow down. And I had my whole year planned out also. I was like, I know what's happening. It's all controlled. It's all exciting. And yesterday I was sitting on the couch, also something that my partner and I don't do that much, where I was like, look at this opportunity right now. Like everything's slowed down. We're sitting on a couch right now. Like, this is amazing. I'm like breathing with you. We're having a pause moment. So take the moment, right? We could get so caught up in the frenzy that's out there. And then we could also go, okay, what's true right now? So that's what I've been asking myself. What's true? Is our whole lives falling apart? Or is the truth that I'm taking a breath right now? And I'm breathing into the opportunity right now, the possibility. I'm taking a sip of my water right now. Like, is it that, like, are we called to be that present right now? I'm in this call with you extraordinary human beings. And you out there who are listening, you're pausing, you're taking a breath, you're noticing. Is it that we're all like coming into, what if nothing is wrong, right? Like there's the question I've been also seeing of like, okay, this is amazing how like the world can just, everything can shift, stop. So there is fear in that because there's the unknown. We thought we knew something. And so what we do know, that's why I'm asking the question, it was like, what is true? What is true right now is this moment that I get to look at you. What's true right now is this breath. What's true is right now, I might run out of toilet paper in a couple weeks. Like what's true right now, it's okay. That might not even be true because it's not past this moment. So I'm really feeling like we are all being slowed down to this. We've all been asking for it as a collective. We've all been asking for, what is presence truly? Presence is not, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and you're doing this and we're going to be doing that over there. It's like, it's right here, right? So anyways, that's all I have right now. I just thank you for opening this up, all of you, with this conversation. It's really, really enlightening. Thank you.
I would love to jump in, Hema. That is, yes. And this is the opportunity. I love the word opportunity. The moment you said it, Kristen, I was like, that's the word, right? I want to speak to, first of all, what comes to my heart is that everything inside of me that's going on is a reflection of what's outside of me and going on. And everything that's outside of me is a reflection of inside of me. And if we're all one, we have created a very powerful moment in time right now. A really powerful moment. And my now moment with this, I want to speak to, because there are people on this call who are having a hard time, and I think, Erin, you were speaking to this as well, potentially having a hard time understanding, am I the fear body or am I something else? Do I get caught up in this? Is that the best use of my energy, or do I choose something else right now? This is the opportunity, I think. And I had a similar experience yesterday where I went to the store and I legitimately just needed some things, I needed a couple things. And it was fascinating as an empath. So as an empath and a energy intuitive, I feel everything. I really do. And I think it's an honor and a privilege. It's part of my choice. It's part of why I'm here. And I feel everything, right? So I leave the grocery store and I'm like Erin, I'm going through the grocery store at a snail's pace because I don't know how else to be present in the thick of people grabbing things in front of me, cutting each other off with their carts. And look, all I get to do is open my heart. I'm not mad about it. I'm not in judgment about it. I get it. People are freaked out. I get it. I do. And I slow down. I get really present. I got into my car. I got home. And I just felt my nervous system. I felt this really strong vibration. And for one moment, I forgot who I was. And I thought, oh shit, this could be bad. For one moment, I thought, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? And how often do we turn on ourselves in an opportunity and forget that we're part of something massive? And I shifted. In that moment, I started going, Christina, what's wrong with you? You're coaching all these people right now. Show up. You can't go into this. And I thought, okay, whoa, this isn't me. I got it. It's not me. I took one moment. I closed my eyes. I asked my guides, God, goddess, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, the universe, to support me. And I just took some breaths and I let the breath clear that energy. And it worked. It actually worked. It was 30 seconds of my time where I decided to be present, where I decided not to align with the fear body, the pain body, the collective pain, my mind, which is very strong, but I got to be the God inside of me in that moment. And that's what is allowing me to be here with you all. So I get people who are in that other space, I get it. And when we talk about choice, it's in our conscious awareness that we can make choice. If you are in the unconscious, lower vibration, you don't actually get to make choice. So that's why moments like what Erin suggested with your breath, or Himalaya is talking about, or your body, being in the body, being in this gift. This is a gift. We can call the light in and use the body for something absolutely transformational right now. That's where choice comes in, right? But we need tools and we need practices and we need our people to share this So we get that we don't have to do the rat race and the fear and be that. We don't have to choose that. That's all.
That's
Christine?
all. That's
Uh,
awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to chime in a little bit. Thank you, Christina. And it's beautiful because as I've been sharing messages here and there on like Instagram lives and things, the word opportunity kept coming up for me. And there's always that little voice for those of us who are living in this space where it's like, oh my God, am I making light of this? And one of the things that's coming through as you're talking, Christina, which I've been feeling a lot into, is what a beautiful space opportunity to give ourselves, visionaries who see the possibility in everything, to give ourselves permission to speak light into everything that we do, even as we are protecting our families and staying safe and nurturing our communities with whatever parameters and guidelines we're following, because we get to play along. I see it as like playing along in the sandbox, right? And still standing a source for what you believe in. I've had so many experiences of being in the stores or different places where I've had the people working there literally stop, look me in the eye and say, thank you. Thank you for being so calm. And I was like, oh, wow, you're welcome. I said, yeah, that's how I play my life. That's how I choose to live. And so this opportunity to be at this choice point is just so precious. And what I keep seeing is that we get to be driven by consciousness. Like, and when you are driven, again, to speak your mind, to share your voice, be driven by a deeper consciousness right now in this moment, and use whatever touch points you have in your life. It could be 5 people, it could be 5,000 people. It does, whoever you have access to speaking into, to build that and create that, and to source that courage. Because one of the things that, and whoever out there needs support and sort of visibility, like reach out to us. Because if you want to share, let's say as simple as, I want to go on Facebook Live and say something, but I've been terrified because I've never done it. That's just a little block that's holding you from sharing your light and sharing your truth. And man, I come across so many incredibly powerful people all the time that have that same, like, I want to, and I don't know how. So this is the time to ask and receive that support. Be like, okay, I want to say this. I want to share this. Please give me some motivation to move through that little block of visibility, of external judgment, of validation, of perfectionism, of I don't have, whatever it is, so that you can speak into what the gifts you have to give. I believe this is a time for people to share their gifts, whether you're an artist, if you're a teacher, and I'm talking like teacher for like little kids, like share in video, share your gifts, teach people how to do things. Right now, everybody's going to be at home, connected. Like, what an opportunity to pour just like messages of creativity and love and possibility and expansion into the world with whatever it is that lights you up as a natural passion. Like, create virtual book clubs, have whatever it is that just makes you feel connected. Use this space to really amp that up. And the ripple effect that we'll see from it is going to be, reverberating way past this crunched in moment in time that we're living in right now.
So here's the other cool thing. Like, I think everybody on this, and Christina, you said it so eloquently, like we all fall back into it sometimes, right? And it's really just about noticing when you're there and choosing to shift back out of it. And the quicker that we can shift back out of it and get back into the space, Emma, that you were just talking about, like, that's the work. And that's us stepping up as leaders and understanding that we are all going to fall. And the important thing is getting right back up again and moving forward, knowing that it is choice and it is opportunity.
Yeah, the best lesson is not to resist or push away the fear, but to actually invite the fear to move through us. The fear is the teacher. The fear is the density that light is seeking to move through, because that's how we get more emboldened. That's how we get higher in our energetic. That's how we get more conscious. So we need contrast. We need contrast in the physical world in order for us to evolve, elevate, empower ourselves. So absolutely being in relationship with the fear. And the biggest thing that's present for me is this deepening of what's happening over there is not happening over there, it's happening over here. That how powerfully we are all connected, how something at the other side of the world can absolutely transform, impact our lives, each and every one of us. And when we wake up to that, and when we own that knowing, you know, that brings us to a deeper level of how can we really all thrive if some of us aren't thriving, you know? I mean, and I'm listening to our conversations, and then I'm also like bringing in, you know, the people in Syria, they're not concerned about coronavirus. You know, they have been dealing with this for years and years and years. And here is something that has finally kind of gotten us to pause. And we get to connect our presence to the entire world and to an entire population that is also going through something, and recognize it's not there. It is here. It impacts us. It affects us on a soul level, on a physical level, on all levels. And that's where we get to experience compassion. We elevate ourselves not to go into shame and guilt and you know, helplessness, but we go into compassion, which is a very high frequency of presence, love. And we get to connect, and then we get to ask ourselves, how can we make impact? You know? And one last thing, I will have to hop off in a few minutes. One last thing is, you know, a lot of these viruses, they do originate from our relationship and our interaction to the animal world. And what is being called to us, I owned a plant-based restaurant for many, many years. And I was always like, don't go vegan. You know, you've been eating meat your entire life. You get to really understand what your body needs and all of that. But eventually, the planet is going to make us become vegan, whether we want to or not. And this is the fact that's present in our life right now, because we talk about transformation, we talk about creating an evolution of consciousness, and yet that's going to also be what we ingest, right? If we're looking at ingesting new consciousness, that doesn't just stay in the mind or in talk. It's going to be, how are we going to ingest new energy into our bodies that is going to be in alignment with that higher vibrational frequency? Consciousness and what we eat are related, and they're all in support. So we get to bring it into balance that, yes, we're not going to be able to continue to eat and feed the world the same way, right? It's just common sense. Compounding populations, shrinking resources, it doesn't line up. So something has to give. And one of the main things is the way in which we interact with the animal world. When we bring species from all over the world and we keep them in cages and we bring them into markets and all of that, it creates disaster. Ancient religions knew this. That's what kosher is about. There are ways in which to harmonize, because they knew that there were deadly viruses in interaction with some species or the combination of some species. So once again, not saying everybody needs to become vegan right now, but it's a component to this conversation, is that if we're evolving consciousness, we're going to also have to evolve what it is we ingest to source our energy. And we get to look at that now, because this won't be the last virus that hits the earth. And until there's a major sweep of our consciousness and demanding and change in that, it will continue. Lastly, 2009, the world saw the swine flu. That actually killed over 151,000, they say between 151,000 and 500,000 people, infected millions and millions of people. And we're nowhere close to that. We're nowhere close to that number. And I'm just really curious to the group who, like, how was this one? This one just seems so marketed. This one seems so
I saw
marketed.
a meme that said, what was it, honey? Oh, he's not listening. It was whoever is doing PR for coronavirus,
Yeah, right.
should be doing PR for the whole global warming. What's that? Hey?
Coronavirus has an
Yeah, for
excellent
climate change.
Yeah,
Exactly.
have an excellent PR firm.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
we sourced it. We sourced it to be bigger because apparently we didn't really grab onto the awareness of what was being created for the swine flu, which was over a decade ago. So now we're like, okay, we get to go bigger because we get to get it this time and see the gifts in it instead of just go, okay, good thing we didn't get that, move along, right, and do nothing or not change. So it's almost as though, where's everyone where are you hiding? The gift in is, where are you hiding? What do you know that you're not sharing with the oneness of everyone, your community, your fans, your clients, your family, your friends? What are you not sharing that you've been worried about saying because you were worried about being judged? And how can that change the way we do everything? Because when you look back at what you've always known and you didn't share it, it could have even been a business a decade ago. You could have been cultivating a beautiful way of living and you didn't share it, whatever knowledge you have, because you were afraid to be judged. Where is that valuable now that you can come out of that closet that you've been hiding in and share it with the world so that you can support yourself and others in a new way of being, right?
So
Thanks,
Erin, if you're hopping off, I want you to share, like, what's one or two things, what's one or two practices, what's one or two ways of being, what is something that can shift a person out of, like, as a way of being or a doing or a mechanism, whatever it is that you want to contribute and share out. Like, if you're experiencing this, I know we talked about breath, we've talked about what you're ingesting, we've talked about all of these things, but if you're, as you're heading out, if you're going to be heading out and leaving, just what's the final parting word that you want to share with those people who are watching?
Yeah. It's the biggest question I think that we can all ask ourselves right now is, and this is a phrase that we've been using in our staffing for several months, is how we are dealing with this is how we deal with everything in our life. How we are responding to this in the world is how we respond to everywhere in our life. And this is the greatest opportunity to ask yourself, is this sustainable for me to be this way? Is this a way of being that is going to generate, source, and create more joy, peace, and abundance in my life? Is it this curving away in fear and resistance, or is it this, an opening and expansion and expansion? So, everything in the universe expands and contracts just like a heartbeat. Flowers open to the light, they close and to the dark. So we're always doing this. It's just the greatest thing is, where are we holding ourselves in polarity? Where are we holding ourselves either in this state of only wanting expansion, like, no, there's no fear, I only want to feel the light, I only want to be that, I don't want to look, I don't want to see anything else that's happening on the world, it's all love and light and da-da-da. Like, is that where you're vibrating at? Or are you staying in the contraction? It's all fear, it's all scary, oh my God, we're going to die, there's no toilet paper, we're going. And those two extremes are identical. Those two ways of being are identical, and they both are harmful, and they're both disconnected, and they will never bring you about the joy, peace, and abundance you want to experience in your life. So the greatest takeaway I feel like everyone can have is how I'm dealing with this is how I deal with everything. And where do I bridge these two extreme ways of being? How do I embrace the fear, yet bring my presence, my breath, my choice to move through it? Choose to move through the fear. It's the greatest gift that all of us are being asked to do. Because fear and resistance will always wind up being with it, but it's how we are in relationship to it that evolves us and transcends us. It empowers us to make a new choice in our life. So bridging those two extremes, bringing them into union with each other so they're not in separation. And that is where we experience our heart. The heartbeat is doing this. Everything in the universe is expanding, inhaling, exhaling, always doing that. So that to me is flow. That to me is presence, love. And that to me is exciting.
So what I'm hearing you say is how, first of all, how we respond to this situation is really how we're responding to everything in our lives, and being present and at choice with the yin and the yang, with the give and the take, with the inhale and the exhale, the fear, the darkness, and the light and the love. All of it is part of our humanity.
We get lost on the spiritual path of awakening in making one better than the other. You know, is that there is no light without the darkness. There's no darkness without the light. The yin yang symbol is the best example of that. So when we can really embrace this time as an opportunity, like we said, right? Wow, what is being called of me? What's the opportunity here? I know what fear looks like. I've been in fear my entire life. I know what resistance is. Let's just get this life over. I just want to survive long enough to die. I mean, you know, it's comical. Like there's a whole comedy to this as well. Like we run, like Wendy said, we run to the shit rather than actually to the stuff that could actually, like vitamin C and colloidal silver, that could actually elevate us. We run to the most basic
Toilet paper.
Yeah, toilet paper. You know,
really is funny that people, I'm just going to presence this. It's
Yeah.
really funny that people have freaked out about toilet paper. Like Emily, you were saying, just you can use water. Like
Water.
media do.
Yeah.
But isn't it sort of perfect at the same time? Like the
Oh,
part of
goodness.
us that we are so uncomfortable with, the part of our body that we
Our
are most
ass.
not wanting to like even acknowledge, and the stuff that comes out. I mean, it's the shadow and the light. I know that's
Yeah.
crazy,
Literally.
but it's perfect.
Yeah.
so perfect. Yeah.
It is so perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Erin.
it's
Thank you
the
for
two
being here.
extremes, you know, it's the two extremes. So yes, get some toilet paper, but get the vitamin C, get and eat that in which raises your vibrational frequency so viruses don't stick as well. You know,
I have one
thank you
other-
so much.
One other thing, sleep is free, people. So just
Sleep.
remember that when you want to actually really, the best, my experience and opinion, the best thing is actually sleep. And people cut that out the most.
Number
So
one.
it's actually a
Yeah.
time to really like turn off your internet, get it like a dark cave that you sleep in. Like you don't need the TV on. Well, yes, someone just said, Tina, disconnect, right? Like really, really disconnect. My mom sleeps with the TV on. I'm like, Mom, this is an opportunity for you to not sleep with the TV on, right? And bright lights on you, you're never really sleeping. So just want to presence that.
So in this moment, we don't necessarily have to wrap this up, but I just kind of want to hear like you guys popcorn in. So if people watching this could choose a way of being, an action, what's the one thing that people can do in this moment?
Surrender.
Well,
Love
I would
Go
love to
ahead.
say real quick. I love what Erin is saying and what's coming to mind of like not ignoring the fear. So like I used to have chronic pain, and some clients I work with have chronic pain, and you can get really consumed by the pain. And so I would tell them, and I would tell myself, give yourself half an hour a day, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever it is, to just be pissed, to feel the pain, to feel whatever it is you get to feel. And then you get to be in the driver's seat, in the power of your pain, of your existence, of your reality for the rest of the day. And I feel it's the same with this. Like, it's not about denying it, like what Erin was saying. It's like not, because if we go into woo-woo love and light, it's like, I love what he was saying. It's just as dangerous. It's like, feel it, feel the fear, feel it, but don't live in it. Like scream, yell, whatever it does to take to purge it out. Just don't, if we deny it, then it just builds and builds and builds. And then you're like, okay, got it out. And now I get to be all the lovely, amazing things that everyone here is talking about, but it's not about denying it. And making jokes about toilet paper is awesome because it's like the laughter is going to raise it up. It's hilarious that people are freaking out about toilet paper. And like in your local community, you know, I have a lot of friends here that are really, really scared, other moms. And being like the leader in your community and be in nature. Like really, we're going to the waterfalls today. It's been raining here. We're going to take a drive and be out in the fresh air, be in nature. Like you don't need to hide in your house, like, you know, don't go in crowds and all of that, but nature, fresh air, getting back to the elements, remembering the sun, remembering the earth, remembering the wind, remembering all of that. Like that's what keeps us connected. Staying close to Gaia, to Mother Earth. She's holding us, you guys. Like she is really the core crystal down below is like illuminating so that we can be here and move through this with grace. Get outside, take a walk, get away from the internet. Like, so my word is going to be nature, like getting back to the elements, because the elements, Pachamama, that's earth, she is like, we got this. She's going to hold us the entire time. And we've become nature deprived. In our society, we have become fully nature deprived. And you can see it in people's faces. You can see like the lack of vitamin D. The sun is the most nutritious thing that we have going for our planet. It never stops giving us what we need. So get outside, and that heat and that warmth, and even if it's cold, you're gonna feel the power of the sun.
That's beautiful, Beth. I 100% agree with every single thing that you just said there. And especially the move the fear through your body. Like you said, scream and stamp your feet and move. That is absolutely key. Don't be stagnant, because that's the thing that happens. Well, take away what I just said, but I invite you to move the energy, because being stagnant and contracting will only hold the fear in all of our layers of the body. In yoga, we talk about we're 5 layers. It's not just this physical body, but we've got energetic, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies, and the physical as well. The energetic holds on to fear, debris of fear, and they get clustered in our energetic system. So if you'll notice, there's some times where you feel like, life is amazing, you can see the opportunities, and there's some times where you can't because the debris is in your way. And the way to move through that is exactly what Beth said, is like, like make the sounds, like vibrate your body, get like, I do this movement a lot. It's like, like really shake it out of your being. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking right now.
Move the energy, move your body, go outside in nature, all of that. That is going to support your system, your nervous system, from not holding onto that debris. Because when you're with that debris, you can't see straight. You can't experience life in clarity and truth. Otherwise, you're experiencing life with all this in your way, and you're wondering why I'm alone and I'm feeling disconnected and I don't know what to do. How do I serve now? And we're calling you forward. Bye, Erin. Love you.
Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
We are being called to serve in different ways. You get to still serve. You get to serve differently. So keep yourself open and clear and movement. Yeah, because we can get super locked in and then our mind starts doing the thing. Oh, and you're not going to figure it out either. Like, that's the thing. Your mind is not going to be the one that's like, oh, let me just move that. And let me just go into the first chakra and the second chakra and all of that, all of that. It's like, no, you're going to take the breath in, take it into your body, move that area of your body. Don't forget, we are like way more multidimensional than this like thing. So it's actually the physical thing that will also remove and move the energy in the energetic system.
Himalaya, can we just get a brrr from you?
Oh yes, this is one of my favorite moves to move energy. Take a deep breath in. So that tickle of the, I know it's silly, but you see
Awesome.
children doing it, right? Because they're moving their energy. And it creates vibration, and it's moving the vibration just like that ripple in a pond. When you see that happen, that's the same thing that happens when we go, you know. So when you're walking out in nature and you're looking at the sun, open your mouth big and let the sun in your mouth, and also I'm telling you, it works.
Can you just lead us through like a 2-minute
Fucking
movement?
love
Like you
you.
started moving and I just wanted to move. Like give us something like, I
Yeah,
don't know,
let's
2
stand
minutes.
up
Let's
right
all do it.
now.
Yeah.
Let's stand up right now. Find a spot where you can move your body a little bit here and bend your knees. DTO, you want to play some tracks? Want to play a track? DTO's got a new song out.
DTO, help us out here.
DTO in the flow. Okay, so your knees are bent. And so why I say the knees are bent, it actually creates an openness, an opening. Otherwise, when we're locked up, this also clenches up here. So we want to unlock the knees and bounce it out here. Stretch out the mouth. Stretch out the shoulders, making circles. Stick out the tongue. And this is not, you know, all the stuff that we're talking about, everybody. It's not spiritual bypassing. We're not asking you to like avoid the fear. We're asking you to move it through us. So shake out your hands, keep bouncing it out here. We're going to pulse the pelvis forward and back. So hinge the hips and forward and back here. Take out the breath sound out of the mouth as you do this. Sometimes we think that being spiritual or being calm means that we're not moving. It's the opposite. To get to that place of peace, we move the energy. So take the hips around now in a big circle. And let out those sounds of whatever you've been feeling, all that you've been feeling. And take it off like it's a shirt. Take it off like it's a shirt. This is our spiritual striptease. All right, make circles a little faster in this one direction. Alejandra, you know what I'm talking about. You got this. That's right, baby. And other direction, all of you. So just notice, you at home. Just notice what it feels like to move your body freely. I invite you to move your body. Don't wait till later. Don't wait to watch the recording. Move it now. And we're gonna do a spaz attack here. So take a deep breath in, deep breath in, deep breath in, deep breath in. Capture all of the debris that is hanging out in your being, especially your mind. Deep breath in, deep breath in, deep breath in. Ready? Go for it. Be that little kid. Do you notice kids do this? They know how to move their energy. Walk it out side to side. Swing your arms. Woo! Make a little siren sound. Woo! Woo! Move your head from side to side. Woo! Roll those shoulders around. Shake out your hands, flick your wrists. Wiping down now, wipe down your body. You are free and clear. You get to be free and clear from all of your mind stuff, any of that virus. Throw it out. In the last 20 seconds, I'm inviting you to play. Let your little girl, little boy, play. Return to your joy, your truth, the one that knows. Shake out your head so it's not the one in charge. Woo! Awesome. Walk it out side to side, breathe. Woo! Walk it out side to side, breathe here. So notice what you're feeling. Notice what your breath is doing. Do you have more room for breath? More room to feel. Close your eyes even for a moment and scan your experience. Notice what you notice. Notice what it feels like when your energy is moving, your breath is moving, your body is moving. And come into stillness even for a moment with those knees bent. Breathe. Let it go of those pockets. Awesome. Open your eyes. Look around to the sisters in the space. Look around to your physical. If there's any human beings around you, have a little look around. If you have a mirror, return to who you are. Even like next time you look in a mirror, like look deeply into your eyes and remind yourself, here I am. Woo, here I am. I am not the external, and the external is teaching me something. Just like Wendy, you were sharing, like the external is teaching me something. It's reflecting back exactly what I've been asking for. So what is it? And through it all, remember who you are. Remember who we are.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so here's what I wrote earlier. Nature, laughter, human connection, move your body, breathe, dance. The answers aren't here. So who else? Popcorn in.
I'd love to add, Kristen, openness. And openness so many ways, of course, and everything we've shared. And thank you, Hemla. That was juicy. I'm feeling more open right now. Openness, and actually, Hemla, you mentioned this earlier in how, because the times are shifting, it requires like we play differently, like that we shift by default the way we operate in the world. And so openness to see what comes through at this time, like how your life will shift, how your business will shift. And not from a place of, oh, like Shabib, but rather from a place of, oh, wow, what could be possible here? Like allowing that openness to receive what's meant to come through you and out into the world. Because like how beautiful to be in this space of really what keeps coming through for me from like sort of day one of when things started escalating is this like aligning with our purpose. Like this is the time, right? Like the alignment with your purpose, because we talk about this all the time. And oh boy, do we have like this is it. Like we talk about this thing about living in your purpose and your mission and your influence and all this stuff, because that's what we believe in and the people that all of us serve are in that space. And like, this is the time. Like there's no, oh, you know what, maybe later, maybe next year it'll be a good time for me to share what I'm feeling. Like, do it now. The sense of urgency that's coming up, it's time to rise. Yeah, team, the sense of urgency of that, like, it's the moment we've been waiting for. It's always now. And because we have this created like external pressure now, it's like really the time for that, like that coal to become the diamond. So just like go out there and take some action. Like even after you watch this and you're in that energy, call someone, create something, sit in that space of write down like, okay, what are 20 ways that I could show up right now? Get it out of your head, get it in the system, get it out of your system and go there first. Like go there first, no matter what anybody says or thinks. Everybody's waiting for you. Trust me. They may look at you sometimes like you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We've all been there, and they're waiting for you.
Brilliant.
And that what I'm hearing you say is, and this aligns with everyone and how I see where every powerhouse gets to show up, which is every human, really. When you're born, there's no magical fairy that comes down and goes, here's your purpose, here's your purpose, here's your purpose. Your purpose is now. And what I mean by that is, where can you be in service now? What is your gift now? Your mission is now. It's not what it could have been. You don't have to figure it out. It's right now. Look around you. What's coming through? What do you feel, know, and experience that you could share with anyone to serve, which will serve you also? That is your mission and your purpose right now. It's not something you have to discover or find. It's something that you already know. You just haven't been present to it. So whatever you're experiencing now through this worldly opportunity, notice it and make that your purpose and align that with your big vision. My big vision is peace, inner, which reflects outer, peace across the multiverses. So this is in alignment with that. Creating from this space is connection and purpose and all those things, but your purpose is now. Be it now. Come out of that closet of trying to find something or think that you're judging, being judged or going to be judged, and be it now, because the world requires that beautiful gift that you are.
I'm remembering one of our transformational trainers saying, crap. No, they didn't say crap. I'm saying crap. It was, I want to say, damn it. It'll come back to me because it was so good.
Who was it?
I don't remember. I want to
One
say
of them?
Michael, but I don't know.
Just one of them.
It's one of them, and it's going to come back to me because I'm supposed to maybe say it.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. Okay. Who else?
Well, I'll share my
Please.
word. So the word is gratitude. We're talking a lot about being present, and what would it be like to be in gratitude for this moment that you're in? Because here's also the irony. Think about the things that people ask for all the time. People are always like, I'm so busy. I wish I had more time. I wish I could spend quality time with the people that I love. Or I've had this project I've been wanting to do forever, but I'll get to it one day. And there's this idea of one day we're going to get to that dream, to that place, that feeling. And what if you felt that feeling today? What if you were in the gratitude of, oh my gosh, wow, I do have time. I suddenly have all this time. I'm suddenly thinking about the people I love and I get to be with them. And mamas, I know it's hard. It's hard sometimes with the little ones. And also, what would it be like to be in the gratitude of that thing that you've wanted and think is some pipe dream far away, but actually gets to be in this moment? This is the moment, and the time is now, like all of you are saying. And so let's be in a state of pleasure in it. I know that's not a word anybody's using these days, but I think we all felt a lot of pleasure with Himalaya just a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
And
Feel pleasure right now. For sure.
yes, and go make love.
Yeah.
Oh my
girl.
gosh.
Okay, so I got it.
Postcard. I just wanted to say whole.
Yes.
Aw.
This is. I have to
Candles
just plug. I just
card.
had to plug you right now because this is Himalaya's
Yeah.
Embody Oracle deck, which
Magical.
is amazing. Let's all
Amazing.
just share
Love
it
it.
out.
Magical.
Yes. Tina, you have yours. So the phrase that came to me is, there is no out there. There is no out there. So it's all here, and it's all here right now. This is what I was getting when Wendy was talking. Like, we're waiting for something. Like, you know, this thing that you're watching right now happened because it was called forth. It was necessary. It came out, like it was an expression. So it was like, now we get to have this conversation now, we get to shift now. And every leader on this call knows what that means, knows what that looks like, knows how to shift in any moment. Be here now. Like, whatever you're wanting to create, whatever relationship you want, if it's sex, if it's money, if it's business, whatever it is, like, you have that opportunity right now to create. We create the future now. Like, that's all we have. And that was one of the things that came to me, was like, yes, you know, mass deaths could happen. And yes, I could get the coronavirus. And yes, someone I know and love could die. And that's not occurring right now for me. That's not, and even if that is occurring right now for me, I still have the choice in who I'm going to be about it. So right now I have the power, right in this moment.
Okay.
Can I?
Go ahead. I've go Christina, and then I'd love to say something.
Is that okay, Crystal? Crystal was jumping in too. Yeah, good.
I'll go after Beth.
Okay. So I just have to say, don't miss the miracles. Do not miss the miracles right now, you guys. There are miracles happening in front of your face. There are miracles happening around this world right now. And it is so easy to go into the hype. There are amazing miracles. There are people awakening. There are gifts coming out of our pores. Just like I think Wendy was saying, like, you're in your house, you're going to get crazy information from spirit right now. You're going to go out in nature and you're going to get amazing answers to other people's prayers. Do not miss the miracle. There are people on Facebook ready to give money, time, toilet paper, whatever is neat. People are sharing out of the goodness of their hearts, and they will keep doing that because that's what moments like this are for. We called this moment in. We called it in so that we could take care of one another, so that we could remember to be present, so that we could love deeply, so that we could own our power, and that we could be the gods and goddesses, right? The support, the angels in other people's lives. So don't miss the miracle that's right on your doorstep right now.
Yeah, it's so profound. Thank you, Christina. So profound. Go ahead, Beth.
Yeah, I was like, just right before you said that, I was thinking, I was watching, and thank you for that, because I've been watching people at the stores stockpile alcohol, getting the drugs they need. Like, dude, I've been hearing, dude, I need to stock up the booze. Like this is like, right, they're ready to hunker down and check the fuck, I keep cussing, check out. This is not the time to check out. And I get it. Like, I get it that it's painful for some, and I get there's a lot to navigate. I totally understand that. And I love what you're saying, Christina. It's like, this is the time of the miracles. It is not the time to stockpile your booze, stockpile your cigarettes. And I'm not judging you. I'm an addict and an alcoholic. I'm recovering, because when 9/11 happened, I was in the bars. I was in the bars drinking shots, checking out, flirting with boys, doing nothing but hiding because I couldn't deal with what was going on the outside instead of being of service. So if you're sitting there watching Netflix and drinking booze or smoking, whatever it is, it's time to kind of evaluate, because that is not what is needed. You're too powerful. You're too amazing. Your heart is you're here to raise the vibration up. It's not time to medicate. Not time for the old. And I'm addicted to being busy. Like, I'm so addicted to being busy because it's an intimacy thing for me. And so I was like, oh my God, I got to slow down. And I'm feeling that still. Like, I'm still feeling like this, like, oh, I got to slow down. I can't run around because I'm addicted to it. I'm fully addicted to it. And I get to look at, like, wow, where have I not been intimate with my husband? Where have I not been intimate with my daughter? Where have I not been intimate with my community? Where have I not been intimate with myself? And I got scared, and now I'm like, okay, this is what's being asked, and checking out this is not the time to do it. It is the time to get sober, to get present, to get clear-eyed, to become awake, and reach out. So I love what you said, Christina. So thank you.
Time to check in. Check in.
All right,
And
Crystal.
you get to notice where you've been self-indulgent. Like, where have you been self-indulgent when you could be so present that you get to shake your head and go, okay, right? I've been so self-absorbed and self-indulged in something that really doesn't have value right now, that gets to shift. That was awareness for me, for sure. Yeah.
Crystal.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Okay, there's a lot of different ways I could go with this. So thank you, first of all, everybody, for what you're sharing. I'm reading this amazing book, and I read this last night and highlighted it and started. Releasing doership means that rather than striving and pushing harder, you actually learn to get out of your own way. Your instincts start to guide your actions, and you don't cling to outcomes. And I wanted to share that because, I mean, that's coming all the way circle to the beginning when Erin was talking about being in the doing energy. so I'm going to shift from that. I just wanted to make sure I read that into, when we talk about possibilities, we all have a mentor. Almost everyone I think has had her, Judith, who is the most incredible woman I know. And she talks about this field of possibilities. So I'm going to invite everybody to do this with me. Yes, we love Judith. That she was sharing with us on Tuesday. She likes to be on the edge of a cliff, looking out at the field of possibilities. She likes to live her life on the edge. By the way, she's 78 years young and still leading transformational workshops at 78. So I just think that's so incredible. I want to be like Judith, okay? And I know a lot of us here do. So instead of letting our past, the fear coming into our beautiful field that we're looking out into, I'm going to invite everybody who's listening to this to really get present to what are the thoughts that you're bringing into your life in the present now and into the future. And it's really powerful that we get to pull those fears back. And I love that the fear is the lesson. The fear is, what do we get to learn from it? And what do we get to create from this moment, being present? Himalaya, thank you for getting us in our bodies and present and playful is what I felt, like free and playful. And what do I get to create from this moment moving forward? And put in the thoughts and the ways of being that we are committed to from now moving forward. That's all I have.
That's beautiful. And that's not all that you have. That's all that you are sharing
No,
in this
I have,
moment.
I mean, I
You have
could
so
talk for
much.
hours. So we're
Okay,
good.
And also share the book, Crystal. Share that book you're reading.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it in the chat. It's actually a money book, but there's a prayer I'm going to read at the end. It's called It's Not Your Money, How to Live Fully from Divine Abundance, Tosha Silver.
Mhm.
I'll put it in the chat. I mean, you can take everything in here and relate it to anything in life. But the doing, like Beth, how you were talking about, like staying busy. I stay busy too. Like this world is in the doing. When we actually, everybody has said this, to go within and ground ourselves and really live out our life purpose right now. Leadership talks about all the time, life is right now. And we get to really everybody gets to step into their leadership because they say so and they make the choice to do that because they know that they're worth it.
Tina.
I think the word that I want to talk about is collaboration.
Mm.
And I've talked about it with several of you on here. That's my word for the year. So in the past, I've had fearless. In the past, I've had a word of the year being intention, whatever it is. This year, it was collaboration because I think when we go down this journey, we realize that we can't do this on our own, right? We are a tribe. We are a tribe of people. And this is a really good example of collaboration. And so anybody who's watching this, anybody who's listening to this, understand that we are humans and collaboration is what makes us tick. And so a lot of what I was going to say was some of what Crystal just said, and it's about really rising up within our own leadership and the power of choice. That power of choice is just really, in the last couple of days, has been so huge in the forefront because we all have a choice. We all have a choice in this moment. We all have a choice in every moment to really decide how we want to chart the course of our life and how we want to impact the lives of other people. And yeah, we have the choice to sit in fear and worry about the virus and worry about our toilet paper and worry about all this stuff that doesn't matter. What matters is rising up in your own leadership. So the word is collaboration. Grab whoever you can around you, whether it's as simple as the people in your life that matter to you in your household right now. Like love them hard, pour into them like you've never poured into them before. We have this beautiful gift of technology where we can all connect exactly like how we're connecting right now. We don't have to do this on our own anymore. And when we all can lock arms individually and collaborate as a collective, that's our power. That's where we become powerful, and it's where we become one. And so collaboration is just such a huge thing as we move forward. We get to be one. We get to figure this out together. We get to be open to possibility. We get to lead from the inside out. We get to really be the leaders, whoever's listening to this, we get to be the leaders that help people get through this. We get to all get through this and be better on the other end of it because of it.
Thank you.
Collaboration is my word.
Yes, it is. And earlier this week, and Tina and Beth and I have been collaborating on a lot of really amazing, powerful stuff, putting it out into the world. And earlier this week, Tina and Beth, we have a group chat going, and I said, I feel called to do a Facebook Live or a training. I'm going to do a webinar. Like I said it, like it, and then it just kept growing about me. It's not about me, it's about this collective and what we're creating and what we're putting out into the world. And really, really my hope and my wish for this, my intention for this is that it gets shared. That, you know, people who are feeling fear and feeling gripped by fear and feeling powerless, watch this and have another way that they get to choose to be. That they feel their own personal power. They feel the power of collaboration. They feel the power of connection. We are one world. This is such an unbelievable opportunity that we each have individually and as a collective, as a whole. And I just find it just a powerful, beautiful gift for all of us to have been in this conversation. And we're at an hour and 43 minutes or so. And I just wanted to just say one more thing before we wrap up. If you wanted to, you know, pepper anything in as a last sentiment, as a last thought. Crystal and I were talking before we started, and our intention is to start a Facebook group. And this will not be the last conversation we have around this. It's too powerful. There's too much for us as leaders to give, and it isn't ours to keep. You know, it isn't ours to keep. It's ours to give out. It's ours to share. And in the sharing, we all rise. We all see each other. I see myself in each one of you. And I can't see the people watching, but I see myself in you as well. I see your greatness. That is a gift. I see your greatness. And this message really is to call you forward into it. So I want to individually, Tina Paulus-Krauss, thank you. Christina Miglino, thank you. Beth Osmer, thank you. Shazia Imam, thank you. Wendy Paquette, thank you. Maria Alejandra Rodriguez, thank you. Himalaya Bell, thank you. Crystal Jackson, thank you. Aaron Glassman, thank you. And thank all of you for being here, for having a different conversation, for being open to the light, the love that we all are in our essence. So I'm going to let's just unmute and we'll just say whatever we need to say and get to say.
Kristen, thank you for taking
Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
Yes,
Kristen
thank you,
and Crystal.
Kristen.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all for taking leadership and being here in presence. And thank you all that are really watching and you're stepping into your leadership in a new way, as we all are. So yeah.
And
definitely.
all leadership is jumping in and doing it and going for it and being it, just like
Being
Kristen
it.
did. You can be a leader. You can just claim that word by going out into the world and being your bright, beautiful light. That's it.
It's all that's
I
necessary.
love what Beth said, like go into nature and listen. And what you hear is what you can bring. Like that's how it works.
Our next call will be
Everything.
of all of us in nature.
Yes.
Yes.
Come to Montana. I live across the street from 500 acres of
And
forest. We can
on
all
my
live
way.
in nature.
Oh, I
Love
hear a
it.
retreat coming in. Thank you,
Yes,
Crystal.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Whitefish retreat. Yes. Yes. It has been a calling for a while. So yes, it gets to be done now. Thank you,
And
Christina.
Crystal, I know that you had a prayer that you wanted to read, so we'll wrap up. We'll end with that.
I do. I'm going to read the shorter of the two.
Great.
Okay. Dear God, empower me into the one who fully trusts that all true needs are always met through your bounty. Let me surrender and allow you to be my source for all. Let me breathe, relax, and let you lead. I am safe. I am peaceful. All needs will abundantly be met. I am yours completely. And you can pray that prayer to God, Spirit, Universe, whoever it is for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you, ladies.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Love you all. We're sending love out into the,
Love
into the
you.
cosmos, the multiverse.
Thanks for watching.
Multiverse.
Mwah.
Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Love all of you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.